let's go over to what I think are the indices to watch, because they've been so strong, and to look under the hood of those indices to see what some of the big components are looking at or looking like. All right, so the transportation index has gone wild. Since February 5th, it has outperformed the Dow. All right, so we have 43.31 divided by, that's the high so far, divided by 37.42 gives me almost 16% up move in the transportation index. Now when I look at this chart, let's throw some lines on here. Let's throw a channel on here. Here's the channel. Okay, the channels actually looks like we could have the top of the channel is 43.82. The close was 43.25. So 43.82 divided by 43.25 gives you about 1.3% until you would expect to have some resistance. Another 1.3% in the transportation index. But let's throw something else on here. Let's throw the Bollinger Bands on here. Let's see what happens, what's going on with there. The Bollinger Band, the top band is right where the channel is. So that's very interesting. But let's zoom in on this, on the highs in the transportation index over the last several months. Okay? So when a Bollinger Band sell signal is when it goes through the top band. This happens, so it goes through the top band and then reverses below it. This happened in January. Well, that was the January high. It came through the top of the channel and reversed down. Let's go back a little bit further. Okay, do we have any other sell signals? Well, technically, or I should say strictly speaking, you had a sell signal in here, and that was in September, held up for a couple more days before it reversed. All right, so the transportation index is either bumping up against its Bollinger Band or bumping up against its upper channel of the channel, the price channel that's encapsulated the moves for the transportation index for several months. So we have to be aware that another 1.3% or so on the 1.5% in the transportation index, I will be very aware of looking for a reversal from, let's say, on the transports, this is a Dow Transports of 43.95. Below that, then if it backs off below that, especially if it closes below the top Bollinger Band line, I will have myself a sell signal of this enormous rally that occurred since February 5th. All right, so let's get rid of this stuff, these lines, and let's get under the hood. Let's see what some of the components of the transports look like. Okay, let's first start off by American Airlines. Okay, look at this. American Airlines has had an enormous move also, characteristic of the transports. But it also has had a reversal since in the last few days. Right, so on Wednesday of last week, it reversed to the downside after making new highs. If we put a Bollinger Band analysis on that, well, the last time that happened was in September, when it exceeded the Bollinger Band and then came back into it, and it created a big reversal. It also happened again in January at a lower high in the transports. This time the transports have really taken off, and look at where they are now. They've spent the last 2 days, maybe 3 days, above the Bollinger Band, and now now American Airlines, that is reversing to the downside. Now, if American Airlines reverses here, it will give a Bollinger Band sell signal, which could be very significant, and we'll have to expect American Airlines to back off. The question is, how fierce will the pullback be? That's American Airlines. All right, let's go over to let's put up another airline, Delta Airlines. Delta, look at Delta. Delta Airlines already has given a Bollinger Band sell signal. Whoops. A Bollinger Band sell signal. And let me identify it. Here was the January high. You've got a lower high in Delta Airlines. Got through the Bollinger Band a couple of days ago, and now it's underneath it. So Delta Airlines could be on, building an intermediate term topping kind of situation here, because it failed to get above its January high, and now it's given a pretty significant reversal signal. Let's see what happens with that. So how about a railroad? All right, a railroad, CSX Corp. Now you notice back in January what happened with CSX Corp. Based on our Bollinger Band analysis, it popped through, classic sell signal, came back down and went all the way down to the 200-day exponential moving average. Notice what's going on now. It is trading at or above its Bollinger Band line. So actually it bumped into it Thursday. Looks like it could probably go somewhat higher, but with this kind of an overbought situation based on the RSI above 80, nearly 81, we have to be looking for 51.5, 52 level to perhaps put a lid on CSX Corp. And if that happens, CSX Corp as well, since it had almost a $53 high in January, CSX Corp could be about to put in a meaningful double top type of situation where it would certainly pull back after that and be a buying opportunity. How about a trucker? JB Hunt. All right, now this is very interesting. JB Hunt has had an enormous move, which bodes very well for the economy. It took out all of these highs, but it reversed last Wednesday. Didn't get through the Bollinger Band, but it reversed. Let's see if it can rally back and create a Bollinger Band sell signal. What I don't like about this picture is this. So you had a new high in price on Wednesday, but a lower high in momentum. So it looks like JB Hunt is due for a correction. And I'd be careful on the long side of JB Hunt. This is not to say that for intermediate or longer term holders, this isn't a beautiful chart, but I would say if you want to protect your profits or add to longs, we'll end up seeing $32 again for JB Hunt. So that's a healthy correction. All right, let's do one more. UPS, certainly a bellwether of this economy. All right, well, back in January, that powerful move in January popped above the Bollinger Band, popped down below it, and it had a severe correction. What do we have now? Let's zoom in and see what we have. No sell signal on a strict basis from the Bollinger Band. It's bumping up against it, but if we get some strength here, which I think we will Monday, possibly into Tuesday, maybe you get a new high here in UPS, and then you get the reversal back below the band, and you'll have a similar situation that you had in January, which at the very least will bode for a corrective period and could be a fairly severe one in UPS. So what we have here is the strongest of the indices, the DJT, the Dow Transportation, suggesting that some of its components are either very overbought and or about to give sell signals. That is, sell signals for a correction, not for a bear market or anything, for a correction. And I would be acutely aware that the strongest of the indexes is very close, in my estimation, to running out of gas and at least to exhibiting exhaustion tendencies for a correction. Right? Now let's go over to another one of the very powerful indices, the XLK. And the XLK is the transportation sector. The technology sector. And the technology sector has also gone straight up since February 5th. Now,